Which unethical life pro tip do you actually use? My gym only has 2 workout machines with pedal clips. I need for me because of my small feet. Massive pain in the ass to find, if you even can, and put them on another machine. So, I set my favorite machine to run in German. I can read it fine, but now no one else uses it because they cannot, and no one can be asked to reprogram it. Username checks out. Always get picked up from the airport from the departures area. It is usually just an elevator away from baggage. There is no security rushing people up there. Whoever is coming to pick you up can just chill and wait for you. Plus there are nice signs for the airlines that serve as markers for pickup. I used to work in an airport and noticed this. My husband travels a lot for work and often comes home at 10 to 11 PM. Arrivals would be packed and security would rush you along and it really stressed me out. I started picking him up at departures. No one there. In Canada, when calling for support, choose French instead of English. Most French help desks are in Quebec or Ontario, and they often speak better English than the English line. They also often have a shorter wait time. This is so ducking brilliant. Do I have to endure the francophone resentment toward me? I've been changing the date and time in Animal Crossing New Leaf. I mean, I've played all of them on the straight and narrow, but after I got a used seconds and a copy of the game, this time, I never looked back, unless I went back, in time, then forward again, several times, each time I play. I really like Animal Crossing, but would enjoy it more if it ran on its own clock instead of mine. I guess they do that to not burn through content or something. If someone offers you money, immediately take it. Don't go through the no that's not necessary no. I want you to have it, oh I couldn't. I insist. Game. There was an Ask Reddit thread a few weeks back that asked people what they would do if they were suddenly given $100. I have some extra money, so I scoured the thread and found the one I thought most worthy and messaged them directly. They said my offer was nice but they declined. So I moved on to the next person. Same result. Took me 6 people before one took me up on the offer. If when I was struggling someone had offered me $100 no questions asked, I would have immediately taken it. It wasn't too long ago that I struggled to make ends meet. Took me 6 people before one took me up on the offer. That's kinda odd. Did they say why? My guess is that they want to stay anonymous on Reddit. I'll listen to Spotify in Chrome instead of their desktop app. uBlock Origin blocks all of the ads without having to pay a cent. You can block ads on the desktop app as well via changing your host's file. When I receive an unsolicited sales call on my cell phone, and I have a couple of minutes spare, I see how long I can string them along for before I hang up. I figure that while I'm wasting their time, they are not wasting someone else's. No great stories. Although once I persuaded them to issue me a credit card in the name of my pet cat before hanging up. I just like to be confusing and ramble on with my replies. It's fun to listen to them try to understand what the hell I'm talking about. I once placed an ad on Craigslist pretending to be an employer and assessed my competition's experience, resumes, and preferred salary. Helped me a ton in my job transition. Doing that right now. Thanks. Best of luck. I don't recommend telling your friends. Some people will think you are a jerk. When booking seats on a plane, if there's 2 of you, on a row of 3 seats book the window seat and the aisle seat. Very few people will book the seat in the middle of 2 people, so you end up with a spare seat for extra space and comfort. Has worked every time I have used it so far. With my kind of luck, someone won't care and my buddy and I will spend an uncomfortable flight separated from each other by a stranger unless we request a seat switch. I always considered, if that eventuality happens, we just offer the interloper their choice of window or aisle seat, and if they refuse, my girlfriend and I chat loudly around them until they request a seat switch. Me and my wife order 1 soda and a water and both drink from the soda. Duck the law. They way over mark up the soda anyway and don't care. They mark up drinks to keep food prices lower. Few restaurants sell anything at a loss, but all of their expenses are paid out of those markups. So it's not really a good justification to point to one large markup as a valid reason to steal. Of course this thread is all about unethical tips, so what am I even doing here? Instant gratification. If I see something I want and it's cheaper online than buying straight from a store, which is usually the case, I'll buy it in the store first, then return it when I receive the one I ordered from online. What kind of stuff do you do this for? Most recently I put new speakers in my car that I bought from Best Buy for $250. Bought the same speakers on Amazon for $150. Returned the Amazon speakers to Best Buy and got my $250 back. Was a Saturday and I had time to install them, so I didn't want to order them and have to wait for delivery. Exact same speakers. So not illegal, but definitely unethical. When I had to call IP support because they forgot to include something in our shipping, the line was always busy. Always. This is apparently common. So I called their other line about the recall of old dresses that were killing kids. Instantly got through to someone and feigned ignorance that I called the wrong line. Got my shit taken care of in 10 minutes. I was in automated line hell on the Home Depot customer service. I kept circling back to the main message, so I pushed a button to get the sales/new order line. Got a person, and it took 5 minutes. They always have a person ready to sell. If I'm at the back of a long line at a fast casual restaurant, I'll order online and then skip everyone who hasn't ordered to the register that's usually reserved for online pickups. Wouldn't call this unethical. That's the point of the app feature. It's only unethical since the person stated they do it if there's a line when they get there. So the order isn't placed online until the poster is at the line, and only if there's a line when arriving. If I don't want to do something at work, I just don't do it. I make sure to make obvious progress on other important work, but I ignore whatever the other task is. Eventually my bosses forget about it, assign it to someone else, or do it themselves. It has a 100% success rate. Yeah, I kinda have learned to do this too. I call it working smarter, not harder. I'm decent at my job, but duck me if I'm not lazy. I've learned this lesson over and over again in life. Set a high standard early and you can coast on it indefinitely, so long as you occasionally remind people of your abilities and don't egregiously duck up. In World of Warcraft I put hundreds on crafting materials on the auction house at one stack at a time, to make it tedious for people without auction house add-ons to purchase in bulk. On a different character I then put those same crafting materials on the auction house at a marked up price. People will buy them to save the hassle of buying everything one at a time. I had a friend who was addicted to WoW and was temporarily banned for price gouging the auction house. He literally would check it every few minutes for one specific material, buy all of it, and mark the price up like 500%. Lying that everything is okay and trying to solve the problem before they find out. My job. 100% this is my job. Remember Jenny's number, quote 867-5309/Jenny by Tommy Two-Tone. It can be used at stores as a communal rewards card. Tell the cashier you forgot your rewards card. When prompted to enter your phone number, enter the local area code followed by 867 to 5309. There's a high likelihood someone has already signed up with that number. There's your discount. It gets even better. Certain gas stations tie grocery store rewards cards to discounts at the pump after you get enough points on the card. When given the opportunity, I enter Jenna's number. More often than not, the communal card has enough points to get $0, 10 or so off per gallon. I do this. However, it has stopped working, so I'm not sure if they've caught on or something. If I need to contact phone support, I'll call the sales department instead, because there's always more people taking calls for sales than support, so that is shorter. As a former sales and tech support agent, I'm glad I have a better career now. Seriously, their jobs are stressful as duck for a call center. I highly doubt this. Maybe it depends on the company, but in my experience, If you connect to sales to receive support, you will immediately be transferred to the correct department and will end up in the correct queue anyway. So you'll effectively have been in line for 2 separate queues. Also, you are hurting the sales agent's numbers. We call these types of calls misdirects, and it counts against their sales metrics. In the end, you not only waste your time by being on both queues, but other people's as well, not to mention making it that much harder and stressful for the sales agent to earn their commission. We call these types of calls misdirects, and it counts against their sales metrics. Well, that's pretty ducking shitty. Someone intentionally calls the wrong department, or somebody else / the automated system sent the caller to the wrong place, and you get flack for it. Glad you managed to get out. Just for that. When buying zucchini at the grocery store, I go through the self-checkout and input the code for cucumbers. They're a lot cheaper than zucchini and look similar enough that nobody notices. Everything is a banana, and that's why the produce manager can't figure out how many bananas to order to meet real demand, and ends up throwing out tons of surplus. Car is heavier than pedestrians. I'm not quite sure what you mean by this, and I'm more than a little scared. I assume they mean people will go out of the way when my car comes rolling through. Does straight up shoplifting count, or what? Because I can't afford cheese or coffee. Take my upvote, you thieving cheeser. I make my mental health a competition. I have a hard time accepting the lifelong disease that is bipolar. So I often mutter to myself at the end of this bullshit, you're gonna be so much better adjusted than all those normies. /view 200D my therapist costens, and I'll never say it to someone's face, but it helps me cope. Love this. If you know you're going to have surgery, you can print out an application for a temporary disabled parking permit. Have your doctor sign it, and there's a section for them to fill out about the duration. When you take the form into the DMV, the clerk will more likely than not just issue the permit for the maximum time allowed, 6 months in my state. It's unethical because after a few weeks of recovery, you may not need the permit, but you can still use it to park close to the store / school / post office, etc. My great aunt got one for driving my great grandmother everywhere before she died. It didn't have an expiry date. My great aunt has kept it and used it for 25 years. It kinda worked out though, cause she's now 86 and has trouble walking far. Maybe she can't walk far because she hasn't had to in 25 years. When I'm low on money on my bus card, I'll move it around for the day to another account so I can tap on, but it never takes money. I'm confused. How does this work? I don't get it either. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.